while we fix this issue. So thank you all for joining us today. It's Sunday afternoon. It's the beginning of the month. We're happy to have you all with your positive energy. So today is the closing session of the DAWERR Ideathon. Again, just a quick recap. DAWERR is an activity, a 5-year activity funded by USAID. And the Ideathon is an activity part of this project. DAWERR stands for Diverting Waste by encouraging reuse and recycling, and all the challenges that you've addressed today fit these challenges. So it was held over the past five days. We had a good mix of entrepreneurs and ideas. And so we had 4 workshops actually, business workshops that you went through with them, and then followed by one-on-one sessions with experts to give you personalized feedback on your ideas. And then and one-on-one sessions for your pitching, so for your pitch deck. So today we had shortlisted nine startups, and we're very excited to have you on board. So you've joined us for the finalists, and hopefully, we will be able to select the top 3 winners who will have access to an incubation program managed and designed by Berytech under the DAWERR activity. And the startups will have up to 6,500 in-kind grant to take their ideas to the next level. So we'll be helping the 3 top startups to do so. It doesn't mean that the ones who are not selected are not good enough. It's just that we need to select the top 3, and we wish the best for the other ones, and we encourage them to move on and just apply what they've learned throughout these workshops to take their ideas to the next level and grab any opportunity to make it happen. So we received over 300 applications, shortlisted 67 ideas, and we had 20 teams on board for the Ideathon. We were very happy to have around 45 to 46 women as part of the team selected, and the average age for the initial was 28, and then for the 20 selected teams was 25. So today we have 9 startups who will pitch to the jury. Thank you for the jury who joined us today. And I'll quickly introduce them to you. So we have Joseph Karam, who's the president of Ecotit, and who is the DAWERR Senior Technical Advisor. Thank you, Joseph, for joining us. We have Yasmin Fansa, who is the MENA Sustainability Lead at PepsiCo. Thank you, Yasmin, for joining us. And Rami Bijawdi, who's the Deputy General Manager at Berytech. Thank you, Rami. So the plan is, the next step is actually to invite you to present your pitch in 3 minutes in front of the jury, one by one. And then after the 3-minute pitch, you'll have, the jury will have 3 minutes to ask you questions. You will be assessed on the criteria as you see in front of you, and you have been briefed about. So it's around your idea, it's around how innovative and impactful it is, who are your customer segment, who are your customer, how is it competitive and scalable, what's your business model, and who's the team involved. So we really ask you please to stick to the 3 minutes, and we will have a timekeeper just to to make sure we respect the time. So basically that's it. We wish all the luck to the teams who will pitch today, and we will be inviting the teams one after the other to start the final selection. Going to stop sharing my screen. So we'll invite, first of all, LU Environment.
Yes.
to do the pitch, and if you could share your screen, share your presentation on the screen.
Bayanet?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, so we will start.
Please.
Okay.
If you want to put it on presentation mode, yeah. All right, thanks.
So hello everyone. We are going to discuss a huge problem that affect all of us. The waste crisis يلي عم بتسبب pollution، وبنعرف إنه في 52% من الويست تبعنا هن organic waste، وفي عنا مشكلة تانية اللي هي high production cost للكروبس. واكتشفنا إنه بلبنان في عنا خسارة يومية $450,000 من وراء dumped organic waste، وبنفس الوقت لبنان is importing about $13.6 million organic fertilizer. ففكرنا بسوليوشن يلي هي نحول الأورجانيك waste لبايوشار يعني organic fertilizer through pyrolysis process. How؟ بيكون في عنا two design bioreactor. One for municipal scale وواحد small scale. Why biochar? لأنه you can see the result just by adding 2% of biochar in the soil. Biochar causes 15% of increase in nutrient retention improvement and 18% of water retention capacity. وراح ناخد example من real life طبقوه مع بتول.
Here we are sharing some examples. مثلا بس حطينا wheat biochar on rice crops, application rate 0.25, it increased biomass, nitrogen uptake, and phosphorus uptake. And applying it on beet field, it increased yield as well and resulted in average annualized net return of about $5,000 per hectare. Regarding biochar market, this map shows us that poor and populated areas are using it in growing demand because it's affordable and effective at a level of increasing yield and a lower production cost. And the diagram beside show and highlight the growing market of biochar. As for competitors, we have major players globally, some companies that sell the biochar at a price $62 per ton. While in Lebanon ما في competitors بس في alternatives but still أغلى من البايوتشار about $100.
التارجت customers اللي قلنا حيكونوا environmentalists و farmers especially organic farmers و nurseries و agricultural engineers و municipalities. الchannels حيكونوا من municipalities. نحن تواصلنا مع municipality العيترون وكان كتير interested بالموضوع و faculty of agriculture و environmental NGO. هيدا هو الفاينل برودكت بين إنه هو كتير فاينل و easy. البادجت حتتقسم مع أكتر من سيكتور بس mainly أكتر كوست حيروح للبايوتشار رياكتور. عندنا السمول سكيل بيكلف بين $200 و $300 والميديوم سكيل بين $3000 و $4000. Our team مؤلف من 3 engineers. غنوة قطايا هي environmental engineer وبتول وهبي agricultural engineer وأنا جوانا agricultural engineer. support حيكون من الدكاترة اللي عنا دكتور مايا عيسى ودكتور بشر هن دكاترة من faculty of agriculture. دكتور بشر هو soil expert. دكتور أكرم هو بروفيسور بالدكتورال سكول بالتكنولوجي بقلب لبنانيز يونيفرسيتي. وهذا الكوت بيعبر عنا إن never do a small group of thoughtful committed citizens can change the world. Indeed, it's the only one thing that ever has. And that's all. Thank you.
Thank you. Right on time. So let's follow it by the Q&A. Jury, if you have any question to LU.
I can go first. So my question is, how would you source your raw material? Where would you get most of your inputs from?
Okay, the raw material هن الagricultural residue يلي حنلاقيهم من بعد الحصاد حتكون من الفيلد. مشان ما نكون عم نعمل sorting ونضيع وقت حناخدهم دغري من الفيلد من بعد الحصاد. حنتعاون مع municipalities مزارعين ناخدهم من الفيلد من بعد الحصاد. ويت أو مايز أو بوتيتو.
كمان من المطاعم أو من المعامل العصير وكل هول اللي عندهم agricultural residues. فنحن هول حنتواصل معهم وناخد raw materials اللي نحن بدنا إياهم. وكإجنايت وهيك نحن بنولع منه فيه. يعني أنت ما بحاجة لأي شيء access لغاز ولا لفيول لحتى أنت تولع. فإنه منه فيه بيولع.
And did you attribute operations and logistics cost in that? Because it's a big operations to bring it all into your pyrolysis plant.
We didn't.
Sorry, I didn't hear you clearly.
The question is, did you guys consider logistics and operational costs related to bringing in your raw materials to your plant?
Yeah, after producing biochar, a part of the cost will be directed toward the transportation and toward providing
Storage and packaging.
Storage and packaging, because when you buy the reactor, this is a fixed cost. Then you can't. There's nothing additional on the transport thing, and would be in parallel with municipalities. They should support us. But yeah, that's it.
May I?
Rami?
Okay.
Yeah, Joseph, go ahead, and then
I don't know how to raise my hand here. So my question is the technology, pyrolysis, have you, is this a proven technology? Do you consider it an appropriate technology for Lebanon? What are the requirements for electricity requirements, maintenance requirements? $200 to $300. I'm not sure what that cost is exactly. It's a bit too low, it seems. I'm not sure.
Yeah, that 300 bioreactor is for small scale, for gardens and small farms, or household scale. It's very easy. It does not need any electricity or anything. It should be done in the open area, and you don't need a place to put it so you can provide electricity or something like that. And as I said, you don't need the fuel, or you don't need any type of electricity. You can ignite the raw material from itself, and it will proceed with the process. And yeah, pyrolysis is a good example, as a good
It's a time saver. يعني فينا نعمل 700 كيلو per hour. And the yield of biochar is about average 46%.
And we've tried, we have been studying at the university. My thesis is about biochar, and I've been doing pyrolysis, and it's an interesting, especially about yield. Yeah, so it's okay, and good for the environment and the situation here in Lebanon.
I want to add that biochar utilization is not limited only for soil fertilization, but it's also used in a large scale for water treatment. So we can sell the product for water treatment plant, for example, for removal of heavy metals and dye and any toxic in the water.
Yes.
Thank you, Jumana. So we'll take a last question from Rami.
Okay.
Thank you, Ingrid. Thank you, team. Very good presentation. My question, Joseph asked Joseph and Yasmin asked my first two questions, so thank you for asking those. My third question is related to business. So the team, if I understand well, you're all agriculture engineers, correct?
Yeah, yes. Environmental engineers, yeah.
Environmental. So who's gonna lead on the business side? How are you going to promote your product? Who's gonna be your partner in distribution? Because the technology is common. We know it's there. We know that we need it, but integrating it into the market is where the things lie. Price competition with other substitutes and so on, and integrating a new practice is the tricky part. So who's going to handle marketing and sales?
Mainly the municipalities. Yani
we will hire an expert.
Yeah, and agricultural engineers, especially that are fresh graduate, that they have the same insight that we have, the importance of the biochar and these subjects. So هن اللي حيكونوا أكتر شيء
والصيدليات الزراعية.
Yes.
Well, we can get the help from an expert, business expert, of course. وفي دكتور بشر هو كمان بيشتغل بالكومبوستينج، كمان ماركتينج، بيشتغل دايركتلي مع المزارعين وبالارض بالفيلد، so he has يعني experience.
اوكي عظيم جدا.
اوكي
عظيم، شكرا.
Merci.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. يعطيكم العافية.
Merci.
Thank you, team. So we'll take a few seconds before we move on to the following team. So the next team is CloudPads. We'd like to invite you, please, to share your presentation.
Wait, I thought we do the scoring first, no?
Yeah. You have a minute to do the scoring, Joseph, but they're preparing themselves.
Okay, give us some time, please.
All right. Ready?
No?
All right. All right.
Okay.
So thank you. All right. So CloudPads, the floor is yours. You have 3 minutes.
Hello, can you see my screen? It's clear?
Yeah.
Okay. Greetings, honorable judges and fellow entrepreneurs. I'm Yara from Cloud. Meet Layla. Layla is staying home and skipping school because she's on her period and cannot access sanitary pads. In fact, Layla is not alone. There exists a rise in period poverty levels with a 28% increase in the number of women with no access to pads in the MENA region. Cloud is an affordable sanitary pad that is healthy, biodegradable, and sustainably produced using banana fibers. Now you may ask us, why bananas? There exists extensive areas of banana plantations in the MENA region, and in turn, this produces extensive amount of waste. Cloud sees opportunity. We use this agro-waste as our main material for production. So simply put, Cloud is the first in the MENA region to do this. The way it's done is first we collect banana tree trunks from agricultural farmers, we extract the fibers, chop them up, and then use them as filling in our absorbent core, which is hypoallergenic. As 82% of women prefer disposable pads over any other product, our market size is huge, with a serviceable obtainable market of $1.7 billion in the MENA region alone. So far, we have won the AUB MSFEA Student Startup Competition. We are taking part in the Talal and Madiha Zain AUB iPark Incubator. We are working on our first prototype, and we've developed a partnership with Diverting to test our product as soon as it's ready and validate the market. We adopt a B2C business model offering 2 different subscription plans, one for the individual and one for NGOs. The Cloud box starts at a manufacturing cost of $2.45. We make it very accessible for NGOs so they can distribute it over unprivileged communities, and more profitable yet still competitive to individuals to sustain our model. So as you may see in front of you, the longer you subscribe to our product, the cheaper it gets and the further away you are from period poverty. When it comes to competition, although there exists different alternatives in the market, Cloud is the only product that is 3-in-1, affordable, healthy, and environmentally friendly. Cloud is not only better for the community, it is also better for your health and better for the environment. This is all made possible thanks to a women-led team of 6 motivated individuals, highly skilled in manufacturing, R&D, product design, and business hacking. Our ask from this Ideathon is mentorship and market connections, media visibility and marketing, and a $200,000 investment with an initial $20,000 investment for a pilot test where we create 1,000 units, put them out in the market, and validate the product. Thank you so much. With Cloud, we are redefining the period experience by women for women.
Thank you, Yara. Thank you for the presentation. Well done.
Thank you.
Nuri, do you have any question for Yara and the team?
Yeah, so I think as a woman, I think this is great. I think as also a woman, I would be concerned about hygiene. So how do you address those concerns?
Hi, everyone. My name is Sarah. I'm going to be taking your questions today. And thank you for your concern, Yasmin. In terms of hygiene, just to clarify, you mean medical safety about using the product? Okay. So basically, the banana fiber in itself is hypoallergenic because it goes through a production line in which decontamination is part of it. So you don't get concerns over pesticides, etc. But we are committed to prove the safety of our product by actually taking our prototype and getting it ISO certified for extra peace of mind for the consumer.
Does it have to go through any type of approval if it's going to be used on someone's body?
In the MENA region, it doesn't, but we are actually we are taking the step as part of our company to actually prove the fact that it's hypoallergenic and healthy, depending on other sanitary pads.
And what kind of tests will you be doing in terms of, if, let's say someone has an allergic reaction to a specific, your material, how will you combat that? Is there a process that you'll go through to make sure that you're reducing the amount of allergic reactions or whatever it is on a person's body?
There are many tests that are done. They're not done in-house. They're done by a testing facility that is objective, such as ISO, etc. Now, banana, just to clarify that even if a person is allergic to banana, it is not allergic to banana fiber because the fabric itself is, again, hypoallergenic in terms of its constituents. But other than that, we would be going through an objective third-party testing facility such as ISO to test that and make sure that it is actually portraying what we are trying to sell.
Thank you, Sarah.
Thank you.
We have a question from Joseph.
Maybe Rami wants to go first before me.
Go ahead,
I'm happy.
Go ahead.
Okay, thank you. I just wondering what is the relationship and how does your idea, in other words, support the purposes or objectives of DAWERR? DAWERR is about diverting, municipal waste through reuse and recycling. How does that relate to the objective of DAWERR?
Yeah, so DAWERR has 8 challenges. Two of these challenges include single-use waste and tackling single-use waste. And the second one includes, again, diverting waste from like solid waste from municipalities and agriculture in itself. So we are tackling these two by making single-use waste biodegradable. So we are actually tackling that. And at the same time, actually taking the agro waste from banana farmers, especially in countries in the MENA region where that agro waste is either burned or disposed of in unsanitary ways. So we're actually taking this waste from them and turning it into banana fiber to be used in the absorbent core of our pads. So these are the 2 challenges that we're tackling that are part of DAWERR.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, good job, team. My question here is more related to the competition of the source. So you've mentioned that banana waste is usually either burned or wasted. We're seeing more a move of people composting, vermicomposting banana waste into compost again. I don't know how much you've done a market study to identify where most of the banana waste is going usually, and have you talked to banana farmers to identify if they're willing to give their product for free or ask you to pay for it? So that's first question. The second question, have you done any market survey on with NGOs to validate if they're willing and open to buy your product for their communities?
Yeah. So thank you for your questions. I'm going to start with the first one by saying that most of the banana waste that comes from agriculture or plantation of banana farms, which is specifically banana trunks, are incinerated at this time being, in Lebanon and in the MENA region at least. Now, we have been in contact with many banana farmers all across Lebanon to actually see if they're willing to give us the product. And we have been met with enthusiasm from them because of the fact that we're actually taking away something that is of a pain for them at the end of each cycle, which is 2 times a year. So in that sense, we've been met with a lot of enthusiasm from the banana farmers in Lebanon. And for extra quantities, we would be willing to contact banana farmers outside of the country. So that is your first question. Second question, it was about NGOs. We've been reaching out to NGOs in Lebanon specifically, and most importantly, Divertech, because it is the one that is actually offering us a partnership. And this is how we understood the fact that disposable pads are still the main sanitary products for menstrual hygiene that is wanted and on demand in the MENA region, but it's not being provided because of cost, because of etc. And any other alternative is not being adopted by the people that these NGOs are benefiting. They're ending up with huge stocks that are not being used. So it is through these NGOs actually that we have validated our market, validated our product, and our determination to create a disposable aspect.
Thank you, Sarah. Thank you, Sarah. Sorry to interrupt you, but time is up. Thank you for today, for the presentation. So we'll take a minute for the scoring, and then we'll move on to the third.
Thank you.
Startup. Meanwhile, if a wasted team could get ready and share their presentation while the jury is scoring, thank you. All right. So we have Wasted now. Wasted, the floor is yours. You have 3 minutes.
Okay, thank you. Do you know that about 4 billion electronic devices are purchased annually worldwide, let alone the second-hand devices refurbished or purchased? This huge demands result obviously a huge electronic waste globally. Due to the lack of processing facilities to treat e-plastic, lack of funds to create such opportunities, and lack of public awareness regarding e-plastic accumulation locally and globally, so around 70 tons of e-plastics are collected annually in Lebanon alone. They are stacked in landfill without any valid disposal process. Here is where our solution comes in. Our solution aspires to transform untargeted and unrecyclable e-plastics plastics into sustainable, innovative, and eco-friendly construction materials, ranging from tiles and bricks to windows and door frames. This way, we will be disposing of large chunks of stacked e-plastics, as well as providing a new way of constructing. Based on UN's 11 SDG that aims to ensure proper housing by utilizing eco-friendly material, our products target mainly humanitarian organizations globally, aiding and sustaining refugee camps by providing proper sheltering. Other customers could be owners of small businesses relying on our products to build some kiosks and shops, as well as huts and bungalows for private lodging. Further customer validation and consideration are still required.
As mentioned earlier, our construction materials are cheap, reliable, and sustainable. An estimated cost structure includes equipment to mold and fuse plastics, in addition to operational, marketing, and additive costs. We plan to make retail revenue by either selling the products in bulk or creating prefabricated projects. We can't neglect that we have competitions locally and internationally, but what makes us different and what we bring to the table is we're not relying on only building blocks made out of reusable plastic. We're creating multiple products such as tiles and door and window frames. In addition to that, we are using e-plastics, which are not attractive when doing upcycling or recycling processes. In this table, we summed up the properties of our 3 targeted e-plastics in comparison to other construction material, where we can notice that plastics are tougher, eco-friendlier, and more abundant. In front of you is a glimpse of our product designs. Our passionate team consists of my colleague Lynn and I, both having a background in mechanical engineering and design with a business-driven mindset. So far, we already won a competition related to the environment, which allowed us to collaborate with the NGO EcoServe that collects and deals with e-plastics. We did also some theoretical analysis using an engineering
team. Sorry to interrupt you, but time is up. Thank you. Do we have questions from the jury? Joseph, you have your hand raised.
Oh, that's legacy.
I will start with the question. So you're collecting just the plastic that is coming from electronic waste. So we're talking here about, you know, laptop plastic, TV plastic, and all of that. How much is the volume of waste that come out of this, and what is the current reuse of it? And is it something that you're going to collect from people like EcoServe, where they were going to take off their plastic and their electronics and then sell you the plastic? Is that the idea?
Yes, so the e-plastics or plastics from electronic devices such as printer, laptops, TVs, and all of that, they have a high recycling number such as 6 and 7. Usually these are not very attractive when we want to reprocess them or recycle them. So we're just gonna first of all, we're gonna start by working with EcoServe that has already has e-plastic collected. As we progress with our idea, we may turn into using other high number plastics such as like plastic films, which are also not recyclable easily. And we may have to either collect the plastics ourselves or deal with suppliers. But the volume of e-plastics in landfills and that are going to waste and not used is globally, not just locally. It's a huge volume.
Thank you. Yeah, go ahead, Yasmin.
I think my question is, what is the technology that you're going to be using to convert, you know, what's the process in your operations by which you take this and create your end use material?
We're still working on a prototype, but basically the first thing that we're gonna do, it's like just any regular production line. We're gonna first of all shred the plastic. We're gonna join them as a block, then fuse or heat them in order to create a solid and a tough entity. Further testing is of course required. In theory, our analysis is the calculation adds up and it's validated.
Thank you.
Thank you. Any other question to the team? All right, then. So we'll take a minute for the scoring. And I'd like to ask, meanwhile, Eco-Friendly Concrete to prepare their presentation and share the screen. All right. So Eco-Friendly Concrete, the floor is yours. You have 3 minutes.
Just a second, because I have a delay in the internet connection. I'm just gonna switch up really quick, okay? Before starting. I'm sorry.
Eco-friendly concrete, take your time. Let's move on to EcoMatch right now. If you could share your presentation, we'll take you just after EcoMatch. So EcoMatch, if you have your presentation ready, please share your screen.
All right, we just need a minute, even less, because like our presenter is like the one who presents is gonna come in.
I think I'm ready now. I'm sorry.
All right. Yeah, eco-friendly concrete, share your screen.
So we're back to team 4, correct? Just to make sure that we're scoring right.
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, back to EcoMatch.
Eco-friendly concrete.
Eco-friendly concrete, team number 4.
That's team 5.
No, eco-friendly concrete is team 4. EcoMatch is team 5. So eco-friendly concrete will start
Okay,
now.
not in the list that I have. I'm sorry. Anyway, we're doing EcoMatch now.
Eco-friendly concrete.
Okay.
All right. Okay, thanks. So the floor is yours. You have 3 minutes.
In 2018, Lebanon was featured in the headlines of BBC News with the title, "Lebanon is drowning in its own waste." Lebanon has been in a rubbish crisis since 2015, and areas available for landfills are diminishing day by day. But amid this crisis, we have a chance to build a greener future and take advantage of these wastes by incorporating them in concrete, the second most consumed material worldwide. However, the construction sector in Lebanon is in jeopardy, as the dollar exchange rate caused an increase in the price and scarcity of materials and the inability to import them, suspending work in most projects. We are offering a new concrete product that is eco-friendly, cost-effective as it saves up to 50% of the materials cost and replaces 35% of concrete's components with waste products. How? It partially replaces concrete's components with the following waste products. While other studies experimented the influence of replacing individually each of these waste products in concrete, we are the first to combine them all in one mix. Experiments on this mix were done on a micro scale, and the results are very promising. Concrete is the heart of construction, so the increase in the number of construction permits increases the demand for concrete. And this year, this number increased by 178% compared to last year. We'll be selling the end product for revenues, and the costs are as shown. Our target customers are the contractors, construction companies, and environmental consultant companies. Our competitors are the ready-mix concrete manufacturers, over whom we have a competitive advantage since we're more eco-friendly, cost-effective, and need less natural resources. In 2022, we intend to perform further experiments to obtain the best formula and start with the awareness campaigns and collect feedback through sending our customers prototypes of the product. We also target to form partnerships with municipalities and NGOs. By 2023, we aim to form contracts with research centers. We will also partner with recycling companies to obtain the recycled waste products and partner with concrete manufacturers to start production and have our product available in the markets. By 2024, we aim to develop our concrete batching plant with an estimated cost of $60,000. In the future, we intend to investigate the further addition of waste products and at a later stage, scale to the Gulf region. Our team consists of the team leader, Dr. Najib Jirjis, a professor at the University of Balamand with more than 30 publications in the field of civil engineering, and my colleague Fuad Halal and I are passionate civil engineering graduates. We're also looking to hire a branding and marketing officer. Below is a list of publications in related topics by my fellow team members, along with the publications by colleagues at the University of Balamand on related topics. While conventional concrete has shaped the environment, eco-friendly concrete will help shape our future. Thank you for listening.
Thank you, team. We open it up for Q&A.
Okay, I will start. Good job, team. It looks like you've been working on this project for some time at the research at Belamand, which is great. But I was not able to see the cost comparison between real concrete and this. Maybe I missed a slide or it went too fast. Was there a slide about the competition in terms of price? Okay. So you consider yourself cheaper than the other three main players?
Yes,
Go
of
ahead,
course.
Sarah.
Dr. Najib, would you like to answer?
No, go ahead. It's fine. You're doing great.
Yeah, so basically what we'll be doing is that we'll be replacing 35% of the concrete's volume by waste products. We've done, of course, calculations, and we've noticed that in this way, we'll be saving up until 50% or 45% of the materials cost. If I want to go into more technical detail.
That includes the processing of the waste, ensuring that the waste that you're putting in is transformed into something that could go into concrete.
Yes, yes.
Okay.
And we aim, yes, of course, and we aim to partner with recycling facilities, because at the end of the day, what we'll be doing is that we're diverting these wastes from going into landfills. So basically, it would be benefiting the municipalities. So that's why we aim that the municipalities will be collaborating with us on this issue. And we'll also
is the waste supposed to be sorted at source at the municipality level? So what's the size of what's the type of waste you get from the municipalities? Is it supposed to be sorted like organic versus non-organic, and then you take the non-organic, or?
No, basically, let me show you the waste that we'll be using. First, we have the wood ash. Wood ash comes from bakeries. So what will happen is that we'll take this wood ash from the bakeries. It's because of the result of combustion of wood.
Okay.
As for glass, plastic, and aluminium, they will be sorted at source, at homes. Okay. As for the construction and demolition waste, as you know, after the Beirut blast, we have this big issue that all NGOs are trying to solve, which is where to dump these construction and demolition waste. In our product, we will be incorporating concrete or recycled concrete instead of gravel. Conventional concrete contains gravel, and we'll be using up to 50% of replacement.
Thank you so much.
You're most welcome.
I think just to follow up on the previous question is, Lebanon does have an issue of segregation at waste. So I wanted to understand what the quality of the material is required to go into this processing unit. You won't get clean segregated waste. So will the plant allow for that? Can you have some sort of, I would call, dirty or contaminated material? Is that okay? Or are you going to have to process it and clean it first?
It's better to have it clean. This is why we will be partnering with the recycling companies in Lebanon. So basically what will happen is that these waste products will be arriving to the recycling facilities, and we'll be taking these waste products from these recycling companies and facilities. So already after they process the material, we'll be taking these waste products from them.
Thank you.
Okay, okay, if I may, this is Najib Burgess. Basically, don't forget that these materials, the recycled materials, are going to be crushed basically to replace sand and gravel. So yes, in the sorting process, we will implement that, but not to a point like we are going to reuse the glass as bottles again. I mean, we don't have to go through this process. No, not at all. It's just simple sorting, and we grind and crush and use these materials. So this is an easy process done basically at the sorting and when we sort the product.
All right, that's clear. Joseph?
Yes, thank you, Ingrid. I wanted to ask. I'm familiar with putting, glass as a replacement of sand in concrete, and that already is not something easy for people to accept in terms of, the strength of the concrete that will result from adding glass in lieu of sand. What makes us think that by adding all of these different contaminants, the concrete that will result out of it will be accepted by builders, by the code of construction, etc.?
Okay, thank you for the question. Yes, definitely you are right, and that's probably why it's not until recently where there has been studies done on individual products. I have, well, in the presentation, Sarah put a slide on the publications, and you can see tons of publications when you are partially replacing a major concrete ingredient with recycled materials. Basically, we have done a publication in Elsevier, which is the top-ranked journal in civil and environmental. It's under eco-friendly mortar. And it did work where we have used 3 materials, and this is the only publication that has 3 materials, 3 recycled materials at once, at the same time, to partially replace mortar components. Now we are going to do that with gravel, with concrete, where we are only adding a gravel. Mortar plus gravel will give you concrete, and gravel is a strong element in concrete. So basically, we are pretty sure that it will work, and we have done preliminary experiments. Concerning your concern, what? Yes.
Could you please summarize it quickly? I'm sorry, but we have to move on.
Basically, yes, we are familiar with the norm of the Order of Engineers and Architects in Lebanon, in Beirut, and in Tripoli, and we follow the ACI code, and we will obtain a minimum strength of 20 megapascal at 28 days as compressive strength, and this is what is required by all the norms when we do concrete. We guarantee that because we've done a preliminary experiment and we have obtained 20 megapascal as opposed to 18.
All right, thank you.
Megapascal. Welcome.
Thank you. So we'll take a minute for the scoring. And I'd like to ask EcoMatch to prepare themselves and share their presentation, please. All right. So EcoMatch, the floor is yours. You have 3 minutes.
All right, so hello, we're EcoMatch, Tinder, but for materials. I know it might sound silly, but we need such an idea now more than ever because the problem is, first, global waste generation is increasing and is expected to reach 3.4 billion tons by 2050, with the value doubling in the MENA region alone. Second, raw materials are being depleted and growing more expensive due to scarcity. Following this trend leads to an unsustainable market where commodities become too expensive. So the solution lies in adopting a circular economy initiated by a resource matchmaking service amongst firms. In a nutshell, EcoMatch utilizes a comprehensive customer-supplier database of materials to create matches between the inputs and outputs of manufacturers. The companies will be connected using enhanced supply chain logistics to timely transport the waste. To exemplify, matches occur across a range of industries. The organic waste from a juice factory can be used as input for manufacturing cleaning products or animal feeds, creating an added value of $133 per ton of orange peels by producing orange essential oil. Similarly, tires can be used in cement production and paper waste can be made into cardboard, all while creating additional value. So our revenue model comprises first establishing the match, then purchasing or collecting the waste from the supplier company, followed by sorting or pre-processing it and storing it in our branded containers, after which we timely deliver the packaged waste to the customer company for a higher price. For our market size, our SOM is $156 million, found using the quantities and salvage value of main waste categories.
The alternative pathway of waste may be to incinerators, landfills, recycling facilities, or informal trades, but none combine profitability, reliability, and eco-effectiveness like EcoMatch. However, our market is one that encourages collaboration rather than competition. So far, we held several interviews with industry professionals through which we were able to find our initial key customers in Belize and Sycamore, who believe in the potential of our idea. To overcome the obstacle of sorting and processing the waste in our early stages, a partnership with Arc-en-Ciel was established to use their facilities. In terms of awards, we won first place in ABDA 2021's business planning category. Next, we are planning to establish our own waste collection network by distributing our branded containers to firms, work on a second consulting service in materials assessment, and lastly, establish regional waste trade relations and subsequently international. The team behind EcoMatch comprises 4 chemical engineers, Noor, Paolo, myself, Ilham, and Nabil, each with a different specialization within our major and company. And we all believe the phrase, one man's trash is another man's treasure. We're looking to raise a fund of $100,000, which will mostly be dedicated for operational costs along with marketing and development. Thank you. We are open for questions.
Thank you. Thank you, team. So we'll open it up for questions. Any question from the jury?
So I think my first question is, you guys are acting like a matchmaker. Why is it that you want to invest in infrastructure like waste bins and integrate yourself into that part of the stream? So would you rather stay on one stream rather than the other? And what's the rationale of involving yourself in logistics?
We were actually going to do that, but we had the concern of having been bypassed. If we match one company once, then it's not very sustainable for us. So our added value comes from not only creating the match, but also taking care of all the logistics, which a lot of companies worry about, because let's say we match someone in Ba'a with someone in Tripoli, that's very concerning for them. So even if we did match them, they might not continue taking from each other. So that's where our added value comes in as well.
Any other question?
I do. Excellent job, team. My question is, for example, when I see your list of validation, you've talked with 2 entities that were not connected. So you've talked with Belize, but you did not, it doesn't show that you've talked with Amaturi 114, and then you talked with the weight paper collection or transformation company, but you haven't talked to an institution that provides paper. Now, I think paper is much more developed because there's a number of people that do shredding, collection, and so on. But agricultural waste is for sure something that has a lot of value. The challenge with agricultural waste is the weight and transportation. So I'm not sure where Amaturi factories are. I think they are in the suburbs of Beirut, and Belize is deep south. So with the cost and the challenges for transporting agricultural waste in terms of weight and transportation requires a phase of processing halfway through. And if it's so, who's going to take on the cost? That's one. 2, when it comes to the competition that you have in Lebanon, I think informal trading of material, especially when you're talking about plastics, aluminum, and all of that, you have a lot of gray economy around that. A lot of small collectors that funnel into a larger reseller, and all of that is not tracked in a way or another. A lot of it happen in the gray market. So how do you compete against this?
Okay, so for your first question concerning the processing, we intend to do whatever we can to sort it and process it. We're going to limit ourselves now to matches that don't require a lot of processing, unless we can get an external party. That would be multiple collaborations, which is possible. And we ran several cost analysis, and it turns out that we'll still have profit even with the transportation and sorting costs. And the second question, what differentiates us is because we focus on the B2B model, as opposed to going small scale. We're trying to target large scale, just so the logistics work out better. and we can collect a significant amount. And also, informal trade tends to be very on and off from what we've learned. So what we aim to offer is like a monthly or weekly agreement. So, okay, we're going to deliver this time, this day, as opposed to just informal agreement between people.
But this does not take us to the municipal waste dumping. You got my point? So when you're talking about municipal community waste, you're looking at industry waste to industry waste. So it's business to business. So whereas the challenge was more related to municipal waste. So that's why I was trying to check, because there is a lot of recyclables that come out of municipal waste if they're well sorted, and they need to be traded a bit more in a more efficient way. So that's also something to think about. I'll leave the floor to other reviewers or jury members.
Yeah, we have a minute left for the Q&A part. Any other question? Okay, so let's do the scoring. Let's take a minute, and I'd like to invite engineer industry, e-paper machine to prepare their presentation.
Okay, let me share my screen.
Yep, I mean, just prepare your presentations, share your screen while the jury is scoring, please.
Okay, may I start?
Go ahead, you have 3 minutes.
Okay. Hello, dear committee. I'm Hassan Nasser, the team leader of engineer industry, majoring in electrical and communication engineering, and my teammate Ali Nasser, majoring in petroleum engineering. Our project for this competition is the e-paper machine. First of all, let's talk about our goal. Our goal is to find a correlation between eliminating pollutants and producing profitable products, following the principle from trash to treasure. The problem, how we come up with this machine. Actually, it is a problem that I've personally faced at our shop. Every day we get up into 20 to 30 carton boxes, and at the end of the month, unfortunately, we throw them away because there is no space. So I think why we should not benefit from them. For that, I built my first prototype, and we've won the second place among Lebanon for the category of environment and renewable resources. We were able to transform this into this flat usable paper. Our second prototype for this competition will be more advanced, have a new design, have the ability to produce more cartoon products, full automatic and easy to use. Now you may ask, who's our target customer? Who's gonna buy our machine? Well, as you know that paper recycling is already existed, but it is centralized at large factories that recycles paper on a macro scale. Our machine decentralized paper recycling, and it can be found in shops, schools, universities, institutions, and companies. Supermarkets and shops. As I've mentioned in my problem, what we can do with these cartoons is convert them into carton bags to replace nylon bags in our supermarket, as we use a lot of nylon bags. For coffee shops, they can benefit from our machine by producing cartoon cup holders. For schools, at the end of the year, each school have a lot of paper to be thrown. They can, instead of throwing them, they can recycle them and benefit from them. Another point is our machine encourages students to recycle, as the student put his trash in the machine and it gets back to him recycled. the same as for universities, institutions, and companies. Another point for companies is that it leaves a good impact on their customer, as he will think that the company cares about the environment and recycling. Our business plan, actually we will start.
Team, I'd like you please to, you have a few seconds left.
This is the last slide. We will start locally in a specific region in order our marketing be more effective, but in case there is any funding, we will expand. Thank you for listening.
Thank you. I'd like to open it up for questions. Joseph?
Yes, thank you for this presentation. As you mentioned, there's already a very competitive paper recycling industry and cardboard industry in Lebanon, and typically the paper recycling industry is very has big capacity. Why? What is your analysis of the feasibility, the technical and but most importantly the economic feasibility of decentralizing this recycling paper industry? It sounds like your intent is to have small-scale paper recycling facilities. Why would that be more cost-effective, and how can you beat the competition producing recycled paper and cardboard that way?
Okay, so why I'm talk about decentralizing? For example, at our supermarket, the amount of paper is not enough to take it to a large factory. So I depend on a small-scale machine in order to recycle it.
But this machine, that do you basically take all this paper and put it in a ajjani and to produce paper again, or how? What?
Not
what
only
does...
paper. It depends on the mold you embedded in the machine. For example, the cup holders. We make a mold for the cup holders. It produces products such as cup holders or carton bags, for example.
So you're producing cardboard products out of the paper. You're not recycling the paper into new recycled paper. It's a cardboard machine.
We can recycle it into flat paper, the normal paper we write on. My point is that not just paper, we can produce other products. As I said, our first prototype produced only paper, only flat paper. Recycle in another way.
Okay, thank you.
So my question is, again, thank you for a good presentation, but the competitor landscape, how does it compare in terms of costs for you? How do you compare with their costs in terms of your target customers?
Okay. Basically, my target is to sell the machine, not only the product. Okay. The competitors, I've said that large factories that recycles paper. I can't tell because the large factories are able to produce more quantity than mine.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you, team.
Thank you.
We'll take a minute for the scoring. I'd like to ask team number 7, GR, to prepare their presentation.
Yep. Hi. Hello.
Yeah, just prepare the presentation and share your screen while the jury is putting their scores.
All right. Is it showing?
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah, okay. Let me know when to start.
right. So the floor is yours. You have 3 minutes.
All right, thank you. Okay, so when we go out, we always find around us a lot of cigarette litter on the roads and on the streets. The irregular management of cigarette waste in the country and the lack of awareness of the people of the effects of cigarette waste on the environment. In fact, cigarette butts are the most littered item on the planet. They degrade slowly and are highly toxic to the environment. In Lebanon alone, 2.2 billion cigarettes are smoked on average every year. Us at Nothing But Recycling have the idea of collecting these cigarettes from desired locations, treating the cigarettes, and extracting a bioplastic called cellulose acetate and selling the final product to manufacturing industries. We have no direct competition for the collection and the recycling process of cigarette waste, although we do have some competition with companies that would recycle plastic and sell it to manufacturing industries, as well as industries importing plastic from outside low cost or importing greater quality plastic from other countries. Our target market in the first stage would be as they have a lot of cigarettes each day. The first location we'll be targeting is Madam Khail, where we can find 106 pubs and restaurants, and we'll be choosing 10 of each pubs and restaurants of the most popular ones to collect cigarettes from. We estimate that in the first stage, we will be collecting 5 kilograms of cigarette butts per day, which would yield 4.5 kilograms of cellulose acetate, which would generate approximately $45 per day. Our potential clients, which we would sell the product to, are Universal Plastic Co., Positive Plastic and Flexible Packaging Industries, and many more as well. These are just some examples. We plan on marketing it by installing special collection bins at the desired locations through social media, influencers, and ads, by making campaigns for the collection of cigarettes, as well as building incentives to dispose of cigarette waste. We plan in the coming 3 years to at least cover 3 districts in Lebanon, the main districts, Beirut, Mount Lebanon, and Jbeil Kisirwan, to be able to recycle everything in a cigarette, to get certified to export our product outside in the Middle East, and expand throughout the Middle East. The first step will be accomplished with the $6,500 that we would get in funding. And hopefully in the coming year, we'll be able to acquire $20,000 in funds, which will allow us to hire experts and consultants and would allow us to expand the business. This $20,000 will also allow us to produce $50,000 per year estimated. And the industry revenue of recycling cigarettes would increase by $1 billion by 2022. We are a team of 2, Josh Haddad, a strategist, who is the lead on the team and in business development, and myself, who is responsible for the recycling process of cigarettes. Thank you.
Thank you, team. Just on time.
Yeah.
So any question from the jury?
I think just from my end, I love the twist in the name, so I think props to that. I think for me, the complication comes in terms of the collection. So how would you target, your main collectors, such as the bars, pubs, restaurants in Madam Khail, to actually participate in this? Your main element of actually success is basically getting them to give you their buds. So what's the process there? And let's say you're running a business and you just want to throw an ashtray and its contaminants inside a garbage and you don't have time to clean it out. Would you be throwing out also, the ashes with it? What's the segregation process? Is it hygienic? Because, you're putting people's mouths and combining it together. So are they willing to partake in this is my question.
Okay, so what we are planning on doing is to actually, in a sense, if you want, educate those places, not really educate, but to let them know on the process of collection of the cigarette waste, to be able to collect them properly. And there will be no awareness. We have to increase awareness to be able to collect the cigarettes and to be able to treat them, to recycle them, of course. And as for hygiene, obviously the cigarette butts are going to be treated. So at the end, when we extract the raw material, we will be able to extract the cigarette waste. And we will be able to there will be no hygienic issues. And if they're going to be with the ashes and such, it's not a problem. We will have to what's it called?
For the
to
next
separate them.
for the next phase, we're planning to make the cigarette all recycled, and the paper and the ashes also.
We'll be able to hopefully in on a later process we'll be able to recycle all aspects of the cigarette, including the ashes and collection of the paper as well as the cigarette butt, which is our first step.
Okay, thank you.
Any other question?
Yeah, I do have one. A good job, team. Nothing but recycling. Yeah. My question is, what's you haven't compared us. You haven't give us an outline on what's happening outside. So if I look at Europe, if I look at the US, if I look at other developing countries, what are you copying a model from there? Is that something that is commonly done in other countries? When we look at developed countries where regulations are tougher in terms of cigarette butts, because in Lebanon we don't have much regulations, everybody throws it to the floor.
Yeah.
So in other places you have probably more regulation, people are more disciplined to throw them into ashtrays that are publicly available.
Yeah.
What are the solutions that are publicly available elsewhere?
First في عنا أكيد global competition بس there are few يعني it's not يعني in every country. It's we search for India. There's a startup company started at 2016, and in Japan and in US. That's what we found, and they are growing increasingly each year. The revenue.
Are they offering the same technology, the same solution you're offering?
So they're recycling cigarettes, yes. The company in India is recycling them differently for a completely different purpose. But in the US, for example, they are recycling everything within a cigarette. But for recycling cigarette butts, yes, they are extracting the cellulose acetate and selling it as a raw material to manufacturing industries. Yeah. The company started Kaman as a startup and grew since then and is rather successful in the United States right now. Yeah. Their exact process, they didn't really share how they proceed with what they do exactly. They just put generally how they go about it.
All right, Joseph and team, if we go quickly, we have 3 seconds left.
Is it possible that in the US they're recycling the entire cigarette because these are expired cigarettes or something? Because I mean, my understanding is that you're not allowed to smoke in public in the US. So where would they find their butts, their cigarette butts? So if we had a regulation here that said, you may not smoke in public spaces, but then people are doing it now. What if it, what happens if people stop smoking in public places, or everyone switches to electronic cigarettes?
Okay, so electronic cigarettes, إذا نحكي هيدي الهيت, it's still the same thing. It contains cellulose acetate either way. But in the US, they have a program اللي بيعملوه هن is that you can go on their website and actually register to recycle your cigarette waste. So هن بيبعتوا لعندكم a bin which you would use to collect your own waste, and you would send back to the company. They would come back and collect it, and they would recycle your waste. Honike, they have a lot of awareness on the effects of it, and so this is a successful plan. Before we can go and do this, we need
to
build
team,
more awareness.
I really need to interrupt you. Time is up.
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
Right.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. So while the jury is putting their scores, if I'd like to ask Bats for all prepare their presentation and share their screen. Pads for all, the floor is yours. You have 3 minutes.
Pads for all, because today they're not available to everyone. We're aiming, through this project, we're aiming to tackle the problem of period poverty that's very common nowadays. It's common everywhere, not only in Lebanon, but worldwide. But we're focusing here on Lebanon because more than 70% of the population is under the poverty line, and a basic medical necessity is not available to everyone. So how are we trying to tackle it? We're basically a social enterprise that aims to provide sustainable and eco-effective reusable sanitary pads. And it's reusable in such a way that's also been repurposed. So the whole single-use products that are in the market right now, such as Always or Nana or different types of products that are used in Lebanon, have been repurposed into a reusable menstrual pad that can be used several times and be washed effectively. This way, only 5 pads per year would be required instead of several packs of pads per cycle. So what we're looking at is our potential customers first, which is the underprivileged menstruators who are residing in Lebanon. Basically, everyone who menstruates without any differentiation with their sex or their nationality or anything. So also we're targeting social NGOs as our second target customer, and one of these is Dawrati, UN Women, and then UNDP. Then we're tackling public and private education institutions to raise awareness on the aspect. Basically, it's also important to educate on sexual health and sexual education. And then Procter & Gamble, which is a very common company that's well known for manufacturing Always, that's currently in the market. So we're trying to partner up with them in order to sell them our reusable product instead of their single-use product. So the business model would be constituted of the sales of the reusable menstrual product as a standalone, then sales in bundles of 5, and then a yearly subscription is another revenue stream for us, where we'd be selling the menstrual products to NGOs at a discounted price, and then another type of subscription which would be for expert talks such as a TED Talk for physical and sexual health. Our competition right now is single-use menstrual pads available in the market, traditional menstrual cups and tampons, and biodegradable single-use pads. Some of them are made of banana fibers. As for scalability, we're set to pioneer in Lebanon, moving on to the MENA region, and then target developing countries in Africa. Here we partner up with Procter & Gamble, and then reach the Americas, where part of our reach was done. The team is made up of 6 chemical engineers and a mentor who is an assistant civil engineer professor. Thank you.
Thank you, Khalid.
Thank you, Khalid. I think my first question is on costs. We didn't see much on that here, I think. So, what are your costs in relation to other types of pads? Why would your customers buy them from you?
Okay, so I'm gonna start with the first question. Our cost is basically the cost of raw material, which would be much less than the current cost for companies available in the market, because we're repurposing actually the materials that constitute the pad. Currently, a lot of the constituents are like low density polyethylene and stuff like this, and they also contain microplastics. We're switching every constituent of the pad into something more sustainable that's readily available, like organic cotton that can be easily grown locally, and which would cut down a lot of the cost. As for the other question, why would the customer buy our product? Basically, we have 2 main types of customer. The customer that is in dire need, which is the people who are under the poverty line, who don't have access to the current menstrual products because they can't afford it at all due to the inflation and their current prices. Our product is much cheaper, and it would come at around $12 a year, which is $1 monthly subscription after all, which would be at the current rate at 20,000 subscription, while one pack of pads right now is 40,000, and you typically need 5 to 6 packs, which is a lot.
So my other question is, what problem are you solving when it comes to waste?
Okay, we're solving basically the single-use products. Our products are reusable and they last for 2 years at least. So basically you put one upfront investment and 5 reusable sanitary pads, and you can use them all over 2 years. They can be interchanged, of course, and they can be easily cleaned. and normal traditional waste. They can be even cleaned on a river. And this is safe hygienically, of course.
How are you proving that?
How are you proving this? This is the main focus where we're working on right now. We're collaborating with health experts, and we're going to be working on at AUBMC in order to validate this claim that we're currently claiming now. We have initial research in the Americas that it is safe to do this, but we need to pioneer this research more, of course, and develop it.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, I have a question. So when you look at the paths that are being developed in highly developing countries like in Africa, in Asia, I'm sure there has been a lot of products that are being developed in these places, and the support from NGOs that are focused on this is high. So why to reinvent the wheel in terms of creating a new product rather than maybe looking at an open source product and then working more on the sales and the production of these products into the market?
Okay, the innovation basically here is in the design of the product, that we're basically using materials that are biodegradable, and they do not lead to anything. Even after the 2-year life cycle of the product, it won't hurt the environment at all. It just biodegrades after all. So basically, the other part of the question is that it's done in Africa, and it's even done in South America. It's done in Guatemala. It's done in India. We've seen it before, but it's never been in Lebanon. And the problem currently is in Lebanon, and it's increasing sharply as the inflation goes up too.
I understand. I totally understand this. My question is, if there are biodegradable products that are happening in those countries for reusable pads, is it more meaningful to bring in, the technology or the solution from abroad and increasing that implementation as quickly as possible in Lebanon? That was my question.
Right. I got this part of the question, but the problem is some of them have licensed and have a patent for their project. So we have to buy the patent for an upfront investment, or to give them equity or a share of the project, and that would be very difficult. So we're doing another design. We're not copying a design.
Great. Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you, team.
Thank you.
Okay, so I'd like to ask PTF team to prepare their presentation and share their screen while the jury speak their scores. This is the last team pitching today.
Sorry, Ingrid, for the question, is my cam showing?
We can see your presentation, yes.
Can you see me as شرب ولا بدون؟
I cannot see you. Sharbil, we can. Yeah, we can see you right now. Sharbil, the floor is yours. 3 minutes.
Yeah. Meet Shadi. Shadi is a bright kid with a bright future. He wishes to become a doctor one day. But Shadi's school in Bikfaya won't be opening this year. It will stay closed due to increased prices of almost everything, especially diesel, which also causing electricity shortage in Shadi's house, so he can't even study online. All while our government is dumping fuel in the ocean. How? Because we are solely focused on plastic recycling. And since the 1950s, we were only able to recycle about 9% of all plastic. And the lesser known fact is that plastic can be recycled a couple of times, before it ends up in landfills. So that's where PTF decided to step in. Using our machine, we can transform not only single-use plastic, but also contaminated plastic and medical plastic waste into fuel. Not just fuel, but also carbon and gas. The carbon can be used to a wide range of manufacturers. The gas can be used as an alternative for natural gas, and the fuel can be used in generators and burners. All of these facts got the attention of the municipal, and they fall under the right characteristics for our perfect customer. They are plastic collectors, they have a market for the fuel, and they have their own sorting facility. Not that, but also that the plastic to fuel technology market is going to reach $26 billion by 2026. And we are not just giving them a machine, we are giving them limitless potential to join this market. How? Because we are giving them a machine that has a circular process, standard small sizes, and affordable prices. And what differs us from our competitors is that we are giving them a customizable machine, unlike them who are buying plastic for cheap, treating it and selling fuel for high prices. So using our machine, the municipality of Bikfaya can cover the needs of the 2 schools in Bikfaya and provide Shadi with an opportunity to go back to school this year alongside his classmates. So we will be renting the machine. We'll break even at 9 months, and for the first year, we aim to manufacture 1 machine per month. Our income will be based on the rental, the maintenance of the machine, and selling the black carbon from the machine, which we will acquire each week visit. All of these are a product of a 2-year journey. We started in September 2019, and for now we are looking to build our MVP and acquire the right certifications to tackle the global market, starting with Lebanon. The team behind this idea is Sharb al-Sayyah, agriculture engineer, Sharb al-Jmaili, graphic designer, Andre Haddad, electrical engineer, and myself, Sharb al-Abidumet, mechanical engineer. Our impact will be huge, especially on job creation and the valorization of waste. Join us and let's help Shadi get into school this year by turning the trash of today into the fuel of tomorrow.
Thank you, Sharbil.
I just want to say to the judges that most of the pictures shown are the outcome of our experiment. If you want, I can show it.
All right. Any questions to Sharbil?
Sharbil, can you take me through the timeline of your growth from YLP onwards?
Okay. We start in YLP5 in September, and you joined many programs in YLP Inc., FNF. And during the YLP Inc., we acquired our first grant, which we used to buy laboratory equipment and started our experimentation. We validated the prototype, but let me say not clearly, because using the laboratory equipment, we couldn't reach the needed heat, the needed pressure. So we did as much as possible with the money we had.
Okay. There is a number of controversial research on the conversion of plastic back into bio-oil or biofuel. What type of, when you look at the global competition, because it's still, there's a lot of research still happening at that space. What is the, when you look at the global competition, where do you stand in terms of, are there machines available for, you know, people doing this type of processing? Is it common in other countries? What are you competing against in terms of you know, sourcing this material into something, converting this material into something else?
Globally, they don't have basically a machine. Having a machine, it's more like a university final year project. So worldwide, it is more of a plant, a huge plant that treats about 50 to 100 tons of plastic. And as I mentioned earlier, our competitors don't give the municipalities a chance to treat their waste. They buy the plastic for cheap prices, then convert it to fuel, and they have all of the profit, they take it for themselves. So what you are trying to do is create a machine, a small size machine, especially for rural areas like Lebanon, like countries, Bulgaria, Romania, who has fuel poverty, and at the same time have somewhat a lack of government and waste management, especially plastic. And also our machine, as I said, it is customizable. So other than giving them fuel and oil, we are offering our customers a chance to make our machine oriented to the gas side. If you want a small recap about numbers, the machine, as I mentioned, this one, it gives them only oil. About 90% of it is oil, and the 10% divides between gas and carbon. What we are trying to do is, if our customer wishes to have more of a gas outcome out of it, he's more interested in natural gas, we can make it have a percentage of 70% natural gas and 20% light fuel like gasoline, and the rest will be carbon.
Thank you.
Thank you, Al-Akram.
Joseph, you'd like to ask a question?
Yeah, I'm not exactly sure what this timeline means. Frankly, I would have liked to know more about this technology and why we think it will work, or it has a good, a high chance of working.
Joseph, I am glad to kind of clarify it, since it is nothing about the machine is mentioned here.
Sure. But you have 1 minute left, maybe.
Okay. So our machine, you start by putting the, as I said, plastic inside it, even if it is contaminated or not. Medical waste can be, everything inside the medical waste from metals can be salvaged, like if you put syringes or face masks. When the machine starts, everything will get heated and pressurized. The outcome, as I said, it could be chemically turned into gas, or it could be stayed as fuel. The fuel can be used in generators, but as 50% to 50% fossil fuel. So it will give you about 40% increase in efficiency with less pollution. Or it can be used fully inside burners and boilers, because it has higher calorific value than ordinary fossil fuel. And everything inside the machine will get sorted out. So you won't get the whole, let's say, mixture of oil. You get everything figured out between gasoline, kerosene, and diesel. And the gas will have its own tank, and the carbon will be salvaged later on from the main reactor.
Okay, thank you.
Plus, sorry if I still have the second, the machine will be vacuumed, so there will be no oxygen during the pyrolysis, during the process.
Thank you, Sherbil. Any more question? I think.
I just want to say thank you for the judges, and thank you for the long day. You had a very long day.
All right. Thank you, everyone. Thank you for your time, for all your efforts. We appreciate it.
So now we're going to open the breakout room, okay, to let the jury in, okay, and then they will be announcing the 3 winners, okay? So jury, please, if you can join the breakout room. Okay, perfect. I believe they might need around 3 to 4 minutes. So take this time if you want to I don't know, drink or take a small break. Okay, we will be back in 2 minutes.
Hi, انقطعت الكهرباء عنا. Did we miss anything? Or nothing happened yet?
No, we're still on break.
Okay, thank you.
Hello all. I hope you got a nice break. It took a bit more time. The jury is still deliberating and it was not an easy task. So they will be back any minute, hopefully. First of all, I would like to congratulate you all for making it again. And it was very nice actually hearing all your solutions and ideas. And I really hope that whether you make it or no, there would be many other opportunities through DAWER as well, where you can apply and join other events and ideathons and so on. And of course, you have access to Berytech's newsletter. You can actually subscribe, and you can get also free workshops. We always do like workshops covering many aspects in the entrepreneurial journey. Okay, so Maria, is the jury back? Not yet. Okay, do you want to share anything with the participants? We cannot hear you, Maria. Yes, Maria. You're muted. Okay, so apparently Maria has a technical issue. Christopher, since you're on the call, do you want to share anything with the teams? I've seen that you've watched the finals.
Hello, Joey. Thank you for giving me the opportunity. Basically, as you said, I want to congratulate the teams for reaching this far. Some of the ideas were really worth it. And I would advise everybody to pursue the ideas and benefit from this occasion, from the advices given by the jury to make their case stronger. Again, congratulations, everyone. Have a nice Sunday.
Thank you, Christopher, especially for joining us during a weekend, and thanks to all the team. Yani, today it's Sunday, so I know that many of you probably had other plans, but we're all here ready to support and innovate. Anybody from the teams would like to share anything with other teams? Maybe you met new teams, maybe you benefited from workshops. Okay, so since we do not have any intervention, which is the first actually, I believe the jury came back. So here we go. Who's taking over?
All right. So yes, we're back, Joey. So I'd like to invite Joseph to share a few words with the teams. Joseph, you're on mute.
Okay, I'm not muted anymore. Thank you, Ingrid. And I wanted to first thank everyone for taking the time to apply to this ideathon. It's what the presentations we heard were great, fascinating ideas across the board. Thank you. From our perspective, everyone basically hit on different things. What we place the premium on is the extent to which your idea will help DAWER in terms of improving waste management in the country. Municipal solid waste management is our focus, and especially this question of diverting waste away from that stream that ends up putting the waste in a dump or in a landfill. So that was an important factor for us as we evaluated all these 9 ideas that you all presented. Again, very good ideas. Congratulations to the winners. We hope it will be a great success stories working together on DAWERR. And for the others, keep trying. What you're doing is eventually gonna basically get you to where you want to be. Thank you, Ingrid.
Thank you, Joseph. Thank you. I'd like to invite as well Yasmin. She has a few words to say.
You're on mute.
I also wanted to say thank you for inviting me today. I was very inspired by all the different ideas that were presented today. You know, one of the criteria is, you know, think about the problem and how well it's been, you know, quantified and you know, proved in terms of your ideas. And I think I put 5 for almost all of them because, you know, we obviously have a huge problems in Lebanon and regionally and globally that we need to solve. And all these innovative solutions really help move the needle in terms of getting things to where they need to be in terms of a circular economy. So one of the main things I looked at today was circularity. So how circular is your solution? Are you creating a solution that will be able to create that movement of material in your whole value chain? And then the one thing that I really just want to suggest, just because it's a huge problem in my work, and that's how I do my work at PepsiCo, is I look at the whole value chain. So, you know, don't just look at one little part of where you're trying to solve, look at the whole picture, and then work with all the different collaborators across that value chain. So work with the end user, the customers who are actually throwing something in the garbage bin. Work with those to get better quality material that would come back into your supply chain. So look at the full value chain and try to address different problems that will help you in your specific problem. And now working with the government is one thing and it's a huge thing, but partnering up with large companies that will help you push with the government to get your solution ready and pushed into the market is also something that would help you. But again, just look at the value chain, look at the different elements in it and try to solve your problem by looking at those different elements within it. So best of luck to you all. And those who didn't make it today doesn't mean I think a lot of the solutions will be implementable across many different areas. Thank you.
Thank you, Yasmin, for your valuable input and feedback. We appreciate it. And Rami,
well, before I give the results, I want to share the same excitement that Joseph and Yasmin had. I think you guys had all great ideas, and a lot of them would apply. You know, the focus, as Joseph said, is on DAWERR, but I think there are a number of programs in the country that are focusing on circularity, waste valorization, and entrepreneurship. So some of you have been part of accelerators. Some of you are you know, applying for the first time for a program. But there is more and more opportunities with Berytech and others. So if you're not selected for this one, keep your eyes open on other opportunities that are there, because you are the future of Lebanon. It's entrepreneurs like you that sees, you know, opportunities from crisis, that look at the potential of making good with problems, are the people that change, you know, the world. And don't lose hope, keep on going. And we're hoping to see you, if not in our program, in other ones. Keep up following what we're doing and monitor what we have, because we have other ideathons for DAWERR coming up soon as well. So we'll be looking forward to see you there. And without further ado, I'm going to announce the 3 winners with no first, second, and third, because we have selected the top 3. So without sharing the priorities of who had the highest score, our final 3 are. Is there any drum roll available? No? Open microphones. Okay, so the first one, the top 3 are EcoMatch, Eco-Friendly Concrete, and LU Environment Biochar.
Mabruk.
Mabruk.
Mabruk to all.
Thank you.
Congrats, everyone.
Thank you. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Thank you for the opportunity.
Thank you.
Thank you all.
Congratulations, you guys.
It was a great experience.
Abruk, can we hear from
Thank you so
each
much.
for 1 minute? Rami, Ingrid, no?
From the winners? Sure.
Each of the 3 winners?
Definitely, sure. So we'll invite EcoMatch to start with a few words, please. EcoMatch, we cannot hear you. Not here, okay. Eco-friendly concrete, anyone from eco-friendly concrete?
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
I can say it was a great opportunity. It was great to learn skills that I think, apart from winning, it was obviously a great honor to win. But I think as someone who is too invested in the technical parts of engineering, I've added in the past 5 days to my marketing abilities. I've gotten more introduced into how I can market my products, how I can enter the market, check for the demand, check for feasibility studies. And now I know also how to market, how to get ready a product that fits the market demands and that fits the cost that I have. So this has been great for me as a learning experience, and I've acquired skills that I will keep for the future in terms of economics and marketing and such stuff. It's been an honor and a pleasure.
Can I add one more word, please, if I may, from Eco-Friendly Concrete? Yes, I would like to thank you very much for this challenge and congratulate you on the seminars, the workshops that were prepared and delivered for the last 4 days from Wednesday until Saturday. Really, the people who directed these seminars were excellent, and they put it in such a way that they were leading the competitors in a way to exactly write what needs to be written and to put what needs to be put. So really congratulations on the way and the method that was conducted by the people here. Congratulations and thank you very much.
Thank you for the kind words. We appreciate it. We're very happy to have you on board. I've noticed that EcoMatch are still here and want to say a few words.
Yeah, sorry. I was like telling my parents because they're next to me. All right, first of all, and I genuinely can't believe it, honestly, that because all the startups that have participated are so competent and their ideas are so wonderful. So and because our idea is a bit like theoretical, we were really afraid that not as tangible as others. But through all the workshops you have conducted, you really helped us like see how we can like concretize our idea a bit better, who to go to, how to approach people, how to genuinely be sustainable and eco-friendly and not just operate under the facade of it. And I really can't thank you enough for it. And I'd like to give a special shout out to Mr. Pierre Ba'lini and Ms. Sarah Sawaya, because their input when we had the clinics was so instrumental in making our pitch sound better, and they really gave us some very interesting tips on how to proceed. So, and on behalf of my team, I can't thank you enough for all your help and all your contributions in building our idea.
Thank you so much for the words. We're happy again as well to have you in the program. Anyone from LU Environment would like to say a few words?
Yes, we would like to say thank you for you all. Congratulations for the other teams, and all the ideas was very great ideas. كمان workshop كتير استفدنا. Thank you for the workshop, and thank you for giving us this opportunity. We are so excited. Thank you.